to the audio, being here 40 years on, and having watched the performance on stage earlier on?
Not that weird, to be honest. Simply because we do it every day. We wake up to 10 or 12 emails dictating the latest horror from the hungry lands. And so what's strange is that the resonance has lapped down the years, as Midge and John Kennedy has just so beautifully said. And Wembley doesn't look that sort of difference. I expected to look mega and new, and it just looks as sort of crappy as before, really, you know.
Was it vaguely emotional listening to the performances from that day? You're over it now.
Because I'm blue in the face listening to fucking Freddie Mercury. And I'm saying, where's the rats? You know, where's Ultravox? Well, not Ultravox, obviously, but I mean...
Oh, poor Mitch hasn't got a microphone.
It's extraordinary that... The musical is extraordinary, as Midge said. Everything Midge said, you know, I completely concur with. I mean... we couldn't possibly know that 40 years down the track that the issue would be as vital, that the world and its emotional bandwidth can hardly deal with Gaza and Ukraine and Trump and all that evil, and accept that in Sudan as we speak 2.5 million children are being forced to starve as an instrument of war because America has decided not to send any grain, that 5 million people in Africa are in peril of their lives simply because they're suffering from AIDS, and Trump has decided that that's not fun anymore. So for us it's just like that, and that's boring and it's not what these people want to hear, but what the musical does is exactly what Midge says. It brings it to a different generation and the possibility of what individuals can do together. And as John Kennedy said, it refutes Thatcher's dictum that there's no such thing as society. What happened 40 years ago at Wembley was to lay that to rest, that there is such a thing as society, that human beings do care about each other, and that they rise above the contemporary political gestalt.
I just want to move to Craig. I think we'll go to Craig next. How was it being on stage performing I Don't Like Mondays in front of this man here?
Fucking brilliant. If I could just
You see, you can't tell us apart, can you? It's less terrifying now. The first time we were in rehearsals and Luke sort of said, oh, by the way, you know, Bob's going to be in today. And Bob, of course, being Bob, sat right on the front, right underneath where I was singing. That was pretty terrifying. But he's been around through most of the rehearsal period and has been so warm and generous with me and given me so much more information than you could wish for as an actor. So it's less frightening now. But yeah, I still feel the responsibility.
Did you get any notes from Bob at all?
Maybe a few. I got sort of little gems, really, little stories about things that made their way into the show that I just thought, you know, were either slightly fictional or they were fun, but it's true. I didn't realise about the tax situation with Margaret Thatcher, and that Bob did actually cycle to 10 Downing Street with his little dog Growler in the basket and go and visit Margaret Thatcher and get that VAT back from the sales of the single. So that's, you know, little things like, little gems like that were incredible.